In 1846, the golden age of Caribbean piracy was drawing to a close, yet only a group of the most ruthless pirates remained, desperately searching for a way out. They soon discovered the civilian merchant ship, the Swift, and launched a bloody attack. Within moments, the entire ship was overrun, and Captain Black was bound. Pirate leader Connery couldn't understand how a dilapidated merchant ship could possess gold nuggets bearing his mark. To find out and recover the lost gold, he ordered the execution of all of Black's crew. Next, he planned to follow the trail to the ship's original port, Cayman Brac Island. However, the island's inhabitants, living a peaceful, idyllic life, were completely unaware that a bloody massacre was about to unfold. Mary, Chauhay's wife, gazed at the vast sea, hoping for her husband's return after 59 days away. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's boyfriend, Weston, came to meet her, proposing to elope with her the next morning. By evening, the pirate ship had arrived near Cayman Black Island. When Weston arrived at the dock ahead of time, he found 3 pirates already on the island. The next morning, hearing noises of someone leaving, Mary quickly got up to check, only to find her sister-in-law no longer in bed. Just as she was about to close the window, she inadvertently saw a figure stealthily approaching the house. Sensing something amiss, she quickly hid her disabled son under the floorboards, then grabbed her gun and pointed it at the door to prevent the intruders. The 3 menacing pirates then demanded all his gold. Connor calmly boarded the dock as well. The island's guards, noticing this, immediately approached and demanded identification. When Elizabeth arrived at the bay, she was horrified to find her boyfriend's body, a gruesome corpse. At the pastor's prompting, the harbor master, through his binoculars, spotted pirates rapidly approaching the island in several small boats. He then blew his horn, summoning everyone to take refuge in the church. Upon learning that the pirates were sworn enemies wanted by the British Empire, Mary, refusing to surrender, engaged in a fierce battle with 2 pirates. Meanwhile, Connor, wielding a long sword and pistol, was slaughtering the island's inhabitants. After a bloody fight, Mary managed to kill 1 pirate. Just as Old Man Black finally lit the cannon's fuse, Connor rushed in and smothered it. Mary, attempting to escape, was caught by another pirate, who struck her in the back. She quickly grabbed a seashell and fought back. Because the Royal Navy frequently patrolled the area, Connor wanted to know the island's distress signal. He then pointed the cannon at the church as a threat. Old Man Black knew the consequences of their firing would be dire, and reluctantly gave the signal. The campfire was at the top of the island's cliff. However, the ruthless Connor didn't let him off the hook. Mary then arranged for the pastor to take his son ahead along a path through the mangroves towards the cliff, while he had to find his sister-in-law as soon as possible. Unexpectedly, they saw a group of pirates heading towards his house. It seemed that the pirates arriving at Mary's house would only find 2 unrecognizable corpses and wouldn't be able to find the hidden gold. However, based on the tracks left by the wheelchair, Connor quickly determined the direction Mary's son had gone. Due to the difficult terrain, the pastor could no longer drag him. Fortunately, Mary and her sister-in-law arrived just in time. Moments later, the pirates found the abandoned wheelchair. Because of the ferocious crocodiles in the water, they had to cross the stream one by one. But when it was the pastor's turn, the pirates were already nearby. To stall them, the pastor chose to stay behind without hesitation. But because he refused to reveal Mary's whereabouts, Connor shot him in the leg. Mary, observing from the tree, hoped to rescue the priest, but he was quickly discovered. Their stop, a treat up. Just as the pirates prepared to cross the creek to give chase, Mary delivered food to the crocodile. Moments later, several pirates perished in the water. Seeing this, Connor dared not cross the creek. Desperate, he shouted to Mary, telling her that Little Black was in his hands, and if she wanted a family reunion, she should bring his gold to the hut, or her husband's head would be gone. The 3 then arrived at a secret hiding place on the cliff edge, the only safest place on the island. The sister-in-law questioned why Mary would associate with such people. Mary then recounted how Connor was a colonist of the East India Company, also a notorious pirate. He had stabbed the man stolen his gold, and disappeared. Because his parents were indentured laborers, Connor led pirates to attack their ship, killing them, and then abducting the 12-year-old Connor. He grew up on the pirate ship and eventually became Bloody Mary. Next, he planned to use the skills he'd acquired over most of his life on pirate ships to deal with Connor, not only to safely transfer the gold, but also to successfully rescue her husband. He then instructed his son to prepare the sailboat so they could leave the island together after rescuing his father. At dusk, as agreed, Mary quietly slithered from the well to the vicinity of the hut, secretly planting numerous bombs around it. She then swiftly launched surprise attacks on the pirates, one by one, followed by using smoke to draw out the pirate guarding her husband, which she quickly eliminated. It turned out that the reason the young man had taken a piece of gold was to find a doctor to treat his son. At this moment, the pirates outside seemed to sense something was amiss, and the bald man ordered a search of every bush in the vicinity, suspecting Mary was nearby. However, after trying to open the locks for a long time, they discovered that the crucial key was in Connor's possession. Before leaving, Mary hid a small knife on the young man's person, then quickly returned to the well and engaged in a desperate fight with the pirates. Mary's actions immediately forced the pirates to retreat. At this moment, Connor calmly walked out. "Did you miss me, darling?" To quickly rescue her husband from this dangerous place, Mary threw a chest of gold in front of him. Connor then unlocked the shackles of the black man, preparing to release him, but suddenly brought up how to settle the score for Mary's betrayal. Connor stated that he had saved Mary, making her powerful and influential, but in return, she had stabbed him in the ribs and stolen his gold. "Sorry, I was aiming for your heart, then I failed to teach a proper lesson. I should surely remedy with your bandy-like behavior." After a chaotic fight, even though Mary was forced to compromise to save the black man, Connor still killed him without hesitation, between the ribs. "That's how it's done." No. Mary then took advantage of the moment when the bomb wasn't detonated and successfully escaped. The bald man discovered that his young son had been killed in the explosion, and his bounty had turned to ashes. He then criticized Connor for being so infatuated with that woman, and a fight broke out between them. To win people over, Connor declared that the golden age of piracy was over. They had once fought their way for the king and the country, filled their coffers, and built colonies, but now they were branded as criminals. However, he possessed a joint pardon issued by the three empires, promising that whoever captured Bloodhorse would receive a life pardon, never have to be a fugitive again, and all their crimes would be wiped clean in court. He then set fire to Mary's hut. Moments later, they found her escape route at the bottom of a well. Now back in the cave, Mary's next task was to survive until sunrise, then light a signal bonfire to notify the Royal Navy patrolling nearby. The three then worked together to set traps in the cave and prepare weapons and ammunition. As expected, the pirates quickly found their way in, but only death awaited them. Before long, Mary had decimated the pirates, leaving only Connor for a final showdown on the cliff edge. After a fierce battle, Mary, exhausted, was defeated. Just as he was in mortal danger, his sister-in-law arrived in time to save his life. The film ends here.